Hey guys, what is up? It is me, Pagey, here once again with another video on Superman and Lois season 2. There's been a bit of a gap between the videos, but that's just because nothing's really been coming out, at least in regards to doing a video on it. So yeah. But anyway, while it's only the beginning of December, like we're only like what the first week or something, we are only just over a month away from the return of Superman and Lois, hitting our screens with their second season, which will premiere on January 11th. So after New Year's, you can calm down a bit and then watch Superman and Lois. And it will be followed on that exact night by the series premiere of the new DC TV show of Naomi as well. Now, I mentioned all of that as we are approaching the 4-week mark until the shows start, which will be next Tuesday, which will also be the day of the finale of the Flash's Armageddon event, and that will most likely be the day that we get trailers for both Naomi and Superman and Lois Season 2. At least Superman and Lois Season 2. Naomi, they might do something else because it is a new, brand new series. The trailer might come out in another way. And of course, we will try and get trailer breakdowns for them out as soon as possible when they drop. So because of the impending trailers, in particular for Superman and Lois Season 2, I thought I would take the opportunity to go over all the news that has come out so far for Superman and Lois Season 2, which includes new cast members showing up in Season 2, episode titles, and an interview with the showrunner Todd Helbing, as well as some other, just some other stuff, that's what we'll say. So yeah, there's a lot to go over. But of course, throughout the video, be sure to let me know your general thoughts, theories, opinions, everything like that in the comments section down below. What are you looking forward to most in Season 2 of Superman and Lois? Always curious to read what you're thinking. And of course, if you're going to enjoy the video, it would be awesome if you could drop a like on it to show support and excitement. So first up, we'll go over the episode titles for the first 7 episodes of Superman and Lois Season 2. Usually it's like the first 5 that come out, but the first 7 have come out. But yeah, let's just go through them. So episode 1 is called What Lies Beneath. Episode 2 is The Ties That Bind. Episode 3 is The Thing in the Mind, which has me interested. Episode 4 is The Inverse Method. Episode 5 is Girl, You'll Be a Woman Soon. Not sure what character that could be relating to. Could be, I don't know, could be a bunch of them, I guess. Episode 6, Tried and True. And episode 7, Fallout. Now, Fallout's been an episode title for multiple of the shows. Like Flash had an episode called Fallout. I think Arrow might have. And I think even Supergirl might have. It's a common title within the Arrowverse. But speaking of episode 7, will it be a mid-season finale? Because they've dropped these first episode 7, these first 7 episode titles, might I say, but is that for a particular reason? Is this like the first chunk of the season and then there's a break? Now, I'm not sure if Superman and Lois plays all the way through or will have a small break halfway through the season. Regardless, it's definitely going to be more consistent in regards to how it appears on screen, or at least how it airs, than season 1. Season 1 would air an episode, then go away for 6 weeks, just because COVID and everything going on. It was a bit of a disaster, the actual airing of season 1, though the season was amazing. But of course, I'm sure we'll find out somewhat soon in regards to whether there's actually a mid-season finale or not, but that's a wait and find out. But next up is actually an interview with Todd Helbing, who was the showrunner for Superman and Lois. Now, it is smaller than your usual interview, but it's worth bringing up and discussing. So this was for TV Guide's 2021 Sci-Fi Collector's Issue. Now, I think this interview was done in maybe maybe August or July or something like that. It was done a while ago, but it still has season 2 stuff in it. Season 1 hit that perfect ratio between action and drama. How do you manage that? The team of writers that I get to work with are really smart, a lot smarter than me about how to do this. And I think we just weigh, does this piece of action land emotionally? If it doesn't, then let's get rid of it. And obviously some people would actually disagree with that quite a bit. Like, no, give us all the action we want, even if it's just like, it is senseless. But I think with a show like Superman and Lois and the setting and everything like that, I think like all the action does have to play into the story and be relevant. And I think if you look at season 1, all of it is. How will the fact that their kids are now part of the action and possibly in danger impact Lois and Clark? What you've seen so far is that they're always a united front. They have very logical discussions, even though they both come from different points of view. I think moving forward, we might want to get underneath that a little bit more and see how they differ. This season will be a great opportunity to do that. I think it will be as well, especially when you have the introduction of, is it Natalie? John Henry Irons' daughter. I think bringing that in as well could potentially, it could spur, Jordan, for example, to go down a certain route, and, Lois could 100% disagree with it. Clark could see it as like the natural progression of, one of his sons that has powers. So yeah, there could be some drama there as well. Tal-Rho has been vanquished, but as Adam Rayner, who's the actor, they say who played him, are sticking around. We always talk about a sort of Loki-Thor dynamic between Tal and Superman, and we'd love to see him pop in occasionally, so I would say you haven't seen the last of him. So it's pretty much confirming he's going to come back. It just, I think there might be like an episode or two where he shows up in season two, because it's important to remember he didn't die. Talro or Morgan Edge, whichever way you want to call him, he didn't die at the end of last season. He just got defeated and got the powers taken away from him, or at least the Eradicator powers taken away from him. So yeah, it'll be intrigued. Well, it'll be interesting, and I'm intrigued to just see how they play him into next season. Whether it is almost on a comedic or just like personal level rather than like over the top action, but yeah, we'll have to wait and see. Can you tease your next villain? Have we heard of them? You have, yes. The only tease I would say is in the same way that we took Morgan Edge and twisted the mythology a little bit, made him Clark's brother and ultimately the Eradicator, we're trying to go into the comic books to find lesser known villains and reinvent them. We can introduce them and people can then go and read the versions in the comics. And I like this approach. Like, there's an example that just came out the past couple of days. Like, they released the Peacemaker trailer and Vigilante or Adrian Chase is completely different than he is in the comics. But I don't mind that if it works on the show. If you want a comic accurate thing, go read the comic. I've always said that. Unless like they completely destroy the character and you just hate them or something like that. Like they turn like someone into a villain that shouldn't be a villain, then okay, that's a bit of an issue. But if they still, follow that heroic path or their mindset in the comics, but they just change the background or everything like that, I'm fine with that. Because if you want the true thing, you can go read the comic. You know what I mean? So I'm intrigued to see who they pick from the comics, or the multiple people they'll pick from the comics and use on the show, and reinvent them, as Todd Helbing's saying there, because the twisty stuff they did with Morgan Edge was quite captivating in season one. And the final question in that interview with Todd Helbing is, any plans on pulling in villains from Supergirl who already hate Kryptonians? I think we'll try to avoid double dipping as much as we can. Now, I think they will use probably some villains that have appeared on there, but maybe in lesser. Like, they're not going to use anyone that was like a main villain on Supergirl, if you know what I mean. Unless they bring the character back or something like that. I don't think they'll recast Rain or someone like that, Like, they'll just maybe use someone that was in an episode or something along those lines. But I think the person interviewing was hinting at Lex Luthor, like someone who hates Kryptonians. So I don't know if that was hinting at him, but we have something with Lex Luthor, which is, I think, the last thing we talk about in this video. Actually, it's the second last thing. But into some castings, some new castings for season 2 of Superman Lois. One is a brand new character, and another one is a returning character from previous appearances in the Arrowverse. So Ian Bohen has been cast in season 2 of Superman Lois, and he will play Lieutenant Mitch Anderson, who's the metaphorical new sheriff in town at the DoD. So pretty much filling in the position of General Lane that we saw last season. His worldview divides into two types: those you serve and those who serve you. He doesn't like that Superman exists outside that paradigm and tries to bring the Man of Steel under his authority officially. So that could be an interesting dynamic. I don't know if this character is going to be extremely likable in regards to as like an ally with Superman, but you never know, there could be a twist in there. I don't think that that'd be like a villain necessarily, but yeah, Ian Bohen, he's from Teen Wolf as well, which is where Tyler Hoechlin is well known from, so reuniting there, I guess. And secondly, Jenna Dewan will be returning to play Lucy Lane, the sister of Lois Lane, which, she first appeared in season 1 of Supergirl, so returning to the role many years later. Now, we don't know how many episodes she will take part in, but she is listed as a recurring character, so it will be more than 2 episodes. So it will be interesting to see what her role is in the show this season. And she has started filming, with this photo of the Lane sisters, played by Jenna and Bitsy Tulloch, hitting social media during that filming. So yeah, I don't know if General Lane is in this season. I don't know if they've confirmed that or not, or if he's gone. I think with like Lucy coming back, surely there's an episode where he's in it with his 2 daughters, but I'm not too sure. But next up, John Cryer, who played Lex Luthor on Supergirl and other elements of the Arrowverse as well, was asked about reprising his role as Lex on Superman and Lois. So, Lex from Supergirl on Superman and Lois. And this was an interview with Digital Spy, I think, and this is what they wrote. Although it's not a confirmation, Cryer says that he is definitely up for a return and believes that it's totally possible for Lex to eventually escape from his prison, stating he'd be even more motivated by revenge and even more tapped into an even worse group of friends. If anything, the Phantom Zone would make him more dangerous. So for those that didn't watch the Supergirl series finale, Lex was sort of like dragged into the Phantom Zone by the Phantoms. So like think like Zoom being dragged off by the time wraiths in the Flash season 2 finale. Pretty much that. Now, in regards to Lex being on Superman Lois, I'm not 100% against it. My only thing is that I think he'd have to play Lex differently on Superman Lois than he did on Supergirl, because he was a really good Lex for the tone of Supergirl. And I think he could play that on Superman Lois, because there's been examples of it. Like, there's been scenes on Supergirl where he plays that serious Lex Luthor, But a lot of the time on Supergirl, he was a bit more of a comical, version, a bit of a more campy version of Lex Luthor. So I think if he went to Superman and Lois, he'd have to do those serious scenes like 90% of the time, and then he could mix in some of that campy stuff, especially interactions with Superman. If he had Superman on the ropes and he was like had the upper hand over Superman or something like that. So yeah, I'm not 100% against it. I know the people that are completely against it or completely for it. I'm sort of in the middle, but lean more towards I'd be more accepting of it. But I don't know if the show wants to use Lex Luthor. Like, I don't know if they want to. And finally, for this video on Superman Lois Season 2 and, just, I guess, everything that's been released so far about it, the larger connection to the Arrowverse. Now, none of the shows really connected to each other last season due to the pandemic. They didn't want to affect with timelines. Multiple of the showrunners said that, like Todd Helbing said it, Eric Wallace said it, the Supergirl showrunner said it. Even the Batwoman showrunner said it as well. They didn't want to interrupt each other's shows because there was no crossover happening, so they didn't really have to meet anyway. So they weren't a bit more free reign. But of course, there were like little breadcrumbs to connect to the Arrowverse, like on Superman and Lois. You saw Diggle show up, and there was references to Central City and everything like that. Now, Todd Helbing, who I've said is the showrunner for Superman and Lois, said that season 2 would dive more into recognizing the larger Arrowverse as a whole. And as I said, like all the shows, not just Superman and Lois, steered away from referencing each other in many ways, at least in regards to present day stuff, as they didn't want to tread on any toes in regards to story and continuity due to COVID and just the different release dates they had as well. Now, I don't know what, diving into recognizing the larger Arrowverse as a whole means. Does that mean Superman travels to Central City? Does that mean Superman or like Lois goes to Gotham or something along those lines? Is that what it is? Or is it more crossing over of characters? There was that potential rumor that Grant Gustin was going to be on Superman and Lois later this season. I don't know if that's going to play out or not. So yeah, I'm intrigued to see what they mean by diving into more of the recognition of the larger Arrowverse. But yeah, that's all to go over in this video, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Hopefully you found it somewhat informing. That's the informing. We'll go with that word, informing. Yeah, if you enjoyed it, would be awesome if you could drop a like and show support. Let me know in the comment section down below your various thoughts, theories, predictions, what you're looking forward to. Let me know all that in the comments. And of course, if you are new to the channel, make sure to subscribe, and I will catch you guys later. Goodbye.